Tonight, we're heading to Japan, a country where ancient traditions and modern life blend seamlessly, but also where chilling tales lurk in the shadows of its neon-lit streets. We're about to unpack one of its most infamous and terrifying urban legends, a story whispered among schoolchildren and adults alike, one that has haunted generations. Picture yourself walking home late at night. The city is silent, the only sound your footsteps echoing on the pavement. Streetlights flicker overhead, casting long, eerie shadows. Suddenly, a woman in a surgical mask appears, blocking your path. Her eyes lock onto yours, cold, intense and unblinking. She stands perfectly still, her presence both unsettling and magnetic. In a muffled, almost ghostly voice, she asks you a simple but chilling question. This is the story of Kuchisake Onna, the slit-mouthed woman, a legend that has seeped into the very fabric of Japanese culture, turning a nation's collective fear into a haunting reality that still lingers today. Imagine this. It's late at night and you're walking home alone. The city is quiet, the streetlights flicker, and every shadow seems to stretch just a little too far. Suddenly, you sense someone behind you. You turn, and you're face to face with her. She stands there, half her face hidden by a plain surgical mask, her eyes locked onto yours. In a voice that's both soft and chilling, she asks, "Am I pretty? Watashi kirei?" Your heart pounds. Every instinct screams at you to run, but your feet are rooted to the spot. It's as if the night itself is holding you in place, trapping you in this moment of dread. If you manage to stammer out a "yes," she reaches up, fingers trembling, and peels off her mask. Beneath, her mouth is grotesquely sliced from ear to ear, a bloody, jagged grin that shouldn't be possible on any human face. She leans in, her eyes burning with a desperate intensity, and asks again, "Even like this?" Her voice is almost pleading, as if she truly wants to know. If you scream, if you say no, or if you hesitate for even a second, she lunges. In a flash, she attacks, slashing your mouth to match her own, leaving you with a permanent, horrific smile. But if you try to appease her, if you say yes again, she doesn't let you go. Instead, she follows you, silent, relentless, all the way to your doorstep. And there, in the place you thought was safe, she kills you. There's no easy escape. If you run, she's always faster. If you ignore her, she appears before you again, as if she can bend reality itself to keep you trapped in her nightmare. But legends are never static. Over time, people have whispered about ways to outsmart her. Some say you can confuse her by answering, "You're average, not beautiful, not ugly, just ordinary." This buys you a few precious seconds to escape as she pauses, puzzled by your unexpected answer. Others claim that tossing coins or hard candies on the ground distracts her. She stops to pick them up, revealing a strange, lingering humanity beneath her monstrous exterior, a reminder that she was once just a woman, not a monster. To truly understand her, we have to look back in time. The legend's roots stretch all the way to the Edo period, centuries ago. Back then, she was said to be the beautiful, vain wife of a samurai. Consumed by jealousy and suspicion, her husband punished her for infidelity by slicing her mouth open with his sword, forever marking her face with a grotesque smile. After her death, her spirit returned, not to ask questions, but to haunt the living. She became a warning, a ghostly reminder of the dangers of vanity, betrayal, and the violence that can lurk behind closed doors. For generations, the story faded into the background, a half-remembered ghost tale. But then, in 1979, everything changed. Suddenly, children across Japan were whispering about the slit-mouthed woman, Kuchisake Onna. The legend exploded into the public consciousness, spreading like wildfire. Panic swept the country. Schools sent children home in groups. Parents and teachers stood guard at school gates, and police increased patrols. Even a simple surgical mask, once a symbol of courtesy and health, became a source of terror, as everyone wondered who might be hiding a monstrous secret beneath. Why did the legend resurface with such force? The answer lies in the changing face of Japan. The late 1970s were a time of rapid urbanization. Cities grew, crowds swelled, and people became more anonymous than ever before. Old traditions clashed with new expectations, and beauty standards became more rigid and unforgiving. The mask, once a polite gesture, now became a symbol of hidden danger. Anyone could be Kuchisake Onna. She could be a stranger on the train, a face in the crowd, or even someone you thought you knew. Real-life incidents only fueled the fear. Stories spread of a woman with a self-inflicted mouth wound wandering the streets at night, blurring the line between legend and reality. Was she a copycat, a victim, or the ghost herself? The legend adapted to its new environment. In some regions, people claimed she could teleport, appearing and disappearing at will. In others, they said that saying pomade 3 times would repel her. A strange, almost comical detail that only made the story more memorable. The details shift from place to place, but the fear remains constant. Kuchisake Onna is a reflection of society's deepest anxieties, from the rigid codes of the Edo period to the fast-paced, image-obsessed world of modern Japan. The legend is a perfect storm, a wronged woman's ghost, updated for city streets and modern fears. She's not just a relic of the past. She's a living, breathing part of the urban landscape, haunting the places we feel most vulnerable. Her weapon has changed too. No longer a samurai's sword, but a pair of scissors, mundane, intimate and terrifying. Scissors are something anyone might carry, making her threat feel even more real. The haunted castle of old ghost stories is now a lonely street, a deserted alley or a quiet suburban neighborhood. The monster is no longer hidden in the shadows, it's hiding in plain sight, blending in with the ordinary. Kuchisake Onna forces us to confront our fear of violence, our distrust of strangers, and the superficiality of beauty. Her story is a mirror, reflecting the things we're most afraid to admit about ourselves and our society. She isn't just a monster. She's a question, a challenge, and a warning. When she asks, "Am I pretty?" she's really asking us to examine our own values, our own fears, and the masks we wear every day. Her question is deceptively simple, but the horror it reveals is anything but. It's about the price of beauty, the danger of judgment, and the violence that can erupt when we fail to see the humanity in others. That's why she endures. The anxieties she embodies about appearance, trust, and the unknown are still with us. In a world obsessed with looks and plagued by uncertainty, her story feels more relevant than ever. She's not just a story whispered by children or a cautionary tale told by parents. She's a cultural touchstone, a warning, and a challenge to the way we see ourselves and each other. The panic she caused in the late 1970s shows the power of a good story to shape behavior, influence policy, and haunt an entire generation. Even today, her legend is taught in schools, referenced in media, and discussed in hushed tones. The slit-mouthed woman is a legend that adapts, survives, and terrifies. She's never just a ghost. She's a living symbol of the fears that haunt every era. She's the fear that the ordinary can become monstrous, that anyone could be hiding something terrible behind a mask. In a world where we're surrounded by strangers, that fear is more real than ever. And in a society obsessed with appearances, her question, "Am I pretty?" takes on a new, dangerous meaning. It's a question that can't be answered safely because it's never really about beauty at all. So next time you see someone in a mask on a lonely street, remember, the answer you give might matter more than you think. It might be the difference between safety and danger, between being seen and being haunted. The Kuchisake Onna legend is a chilling reminder that our deepest fears are often the ones we create ourselves. She's a product of our anxieties, our obsessions, and our need to find meaning in the unknown. She's a story that won't die because the questions she asks about beauty, trust, and fear never go away. They're questions we all face in one form or another every day. And that's why, decades later, she still haunts the streets, the media, and our imaginations. Her story is retold in movies, manga, and urban legends, each version adding new layers to her myth. The slit-mouthed woman is more than a ghost. She's a reflection of us. She's the embodiment of our fears, our secrets, and the things we try to hide from the world. Her legend endures because the world keeps giving her new reasons to exist. As long as we have fears about beauty, trust, and the unknown, she'll be there, waiting in the shadows, So, is she just a story or something more? Is she a warning, a reflection, or a real threat lurking in the night? The answer depends on what you believe and what you fear. That's a question only you can answer if you're brave enough to face her in the dark. Would you run, or would you try to outsmart her? Would you see the monster or the person she once was? And if you do, choose your words carefully, because sometimes the scariest thing isn't the ghost in the alley. It's the question she asks, and what your answer says about you. The Kuchisake Onna legend is more than just a ghost story. It's a chilling reflection of the anxieties that lurk beneath the surface of everyday life in Japan. For decades, her tale has been whispered in schoolyards, retold in manga, and even reported in newspapers, blurring the line between myth and reality. She is not just a figure of fear, but a symbol of the questions we're too afraid to answer. The legend acts as a mirror for our deepest fears about beauty, acceptance, and the unknown. When we look into the darkness, sometimes what stares back is our own insecurity, magnified by the stories we share. Her simple question, "Am I pretty?" is deceptively innocent. It's a challenge that has haunted generations, forcing people to confront not just her, but their own values and fears. The answer is never easy, and the consequences, at least in the legend, are always terrifying. In a city where everyone wears a mask, sometimes literally, sometimes figuratively, Kuchisake Onna reminds us that the scariest monsters are often the ones hiding in plain sight, blending into the crowd, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal themselves. Her story lives on, not just in old tales, but in the conversations we have today, online, in cafes, and among friends late at night. Is she just a legend, or is she a warning about the dangers that come from ignoring what frightens us most? So next time you find yourself walking alone at night, and you see a woman in a mask standing in the shadows, remember her question. It might be the last thing you ever hear, or the first step in facing your own fears.